when somebody is the executor or the trustee, or if you're doing estate planning, the question always comes up when something happens to the taxpayer as far as a death, because until death they report it on their 1040. We do that every year. But what happens at the time of death? And the thing about it is, I'm not doing this to do a session in how to do a tax return, but it's what happens to show you the complexity of that final 1040. So I'm going to say 1040 taxpayer final. What happens is at death, realize is that, again, we look down the assets of the decedent. So they have a bank account. The bank account is in the spouse's joint name. If that's the case, it ends up going to the spouse 1040. Okay. The next item, let's say that the item is in the name of the trust. Okay, because again, a lot of people have everything in trust, but there'll be that item or two they don't. If they're married, not everything's in trust. But for today, all we're doing is that after the final 1040, looking at title. If it says the trust, then what happens is it goes to the trust 1040. And out of that, then it could then go to, for example, the beneficiary, which could end up down here on the beneficiary's 1040. It could be one of the children's 1040 return. We could look here on the final return and it says pay on death to one of the children. Well, if it's pay on death, it's going to end up on the beneficiary's 1040. If it says transfer on death, even though we reported prior to death on the 1040, all this has been reported on the same 1040. And it's transfer on death or pay on death, then it's going to go to the beneficiary's 1040. See, versus if it's in the trust name, it's going to go to the trust first. But then they have the asset that's in their name only. They don't title it right, or they haven't done trust planning. And so what happens there is it's going to go to the estate of the decedent, and that's going to be an estate 1041, which is going to normally be a probate, which means probate, it's going to be probated at the county court. So again, bottom line, when I get asked what return does the asset after death go to, it still comes back. We have to trace the title and how the document reads in order to know which return to put it on. And that's what we're here to do, is we're here to help you get it on the right return.